They were chanting free throw merchant at you. I'm curious what you thought of that, and how much do you rely on your experiences in Serbia?
To be honest, I didn't hear that, but that's kind of funny. In Serbia, I played even in like small gyms where it's like literally 30 people and you can hear everything what they're saying to you. So sometimes I think that's the worst because you can see the guy who is telling you. And I play in front of a lot of people. National team, I play in front of other countries. So it's definitely an experience that I'm gonna say I don't get distracted by fans. Let's say like that.
I am late to this party. Free throw merchant?
I guess they didn't watch the Cleveland game last night.
Help me. And if I'm late to this party again, I apologize. But how long is
we all know he gets too many calls.
Yeah, but how long has free throw merchant been like a chant?
I think that's brand new.
Like, I felt when that first came out, I felt stupid. Like, is this crowds are chanting this?
Well,
I didn't even know this was a thing.
I think it's actually kind of creative. Free throw merchant.
That's kind of cool. He had 13 attempts in game one. On the season, he averaged 6. Shai Gilgeous averaged 9.
Yeah, I get it. It's like the best player steps up to the free throw line. The whole crowd chants overrated. I mean, he obviously isn't, but I get it. But Dan, you have a history of the free throw merchant?
Well, a little bit of the backstory here is Shai Gilgeous-Alexander has been labeled by other NBA fan bases as a free throw merchant.
How long has that been going on?
For a while. And so Shai, when he's at the line in opposing buildings, has been getting that. The crowd has been chanting that.
Oh, okay.
So
it's an
now
Oklahoma
they're trying
City
to
thing.
turn it back. The Thunder fans are trying to turn it back on Jokic.
Oklahoma City's copying.
Yes.
Gotcha.
They're
so,
a little salty.
Like Giannis, the crowd starts counting down.
Which we started in Denver.
Which is great. Or counting up, rather. So
I don't think we started it.
No,
we were one of the first ones.
It's well known. It happens. I didn't realize free throw merchant was a thing for SGA in other buildings. I had no idea that was a thing. But obviously Jokic did.
And again, I wonder what Oklahoma City fans are saying last night at the Cleveland game. Mitchell had either 21 or 23.
That is a pretty clever little chant
It
by
is, right?
the T-shirt wearing lemmings in Oklahoma City. Like they're kind of goofing on themselves.
Well, wasn't it like the Big East basketball back in the day? Depending on what building it was the same chant every time. Da, 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 da. Da, da. And then you go to St. John's and it'd be different wording, but it'd be da, 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 da. And I'm like, no one's creative. Everybody just switches words
just
around.
rips it off from themselves. Just rips it off. Here is, by the way, I can tell what's going on TV because these announcers and these guys, they've been burned by the Nuggets in the past, and they do not want to be caught if the Nuggets happen to go on a run. They do not want their old quotes coming back to haunt them. So everybody is kind of...
They did on the championship year.
Correct, and nobody really wants that. I present to you Nick Wright.
In one of the most shocking turn of events in my sports fan life, I am finding it harder and harder not to root for Joker. I know...
Okay, and he kind of goes on from there.
Who he spent killing, 2 years going for MVP, the entire series when they won the championship, just because we butchered him on the show that whole year.
Oh, he's been leading the charge.
Yeah, he's led the anti-Joker
Not
charge.
now, though. Now,
I think it really just comes from his Chiefs love more than anything else, but yeah.
Yeah, but now I got to tell you, this Joker guy, pretty good.
He's pretty good. It's kind of like Stephanie Reddy. I'm going to have to pay more attention to these guys.
Ooh, this Joker guy.
He's pretty good. I'm going
can't
to have to go back and pay more attention.
Man, I'm going to have to watch this dude. He isn't the only one, though. I saw Kendrick doing it, too.
Who's been anti-Joker, pro MB, pro.
You hear Perkins now. He's talking about Joker being like one of the best of all time. He's like really gone, in the other direction.
Did you hear Paul Pierce on a podcast after game one?
He's always respected him, though, right?
He's always respected.
Him and KG, they've been on him from the beginning.
Loves him.
KG loves him. Yeah. But KG just came to work too. Now KG played with a little more fire on the court. But KG he didn't care if he scored 50 or scored 5 if you won the game. I went and told him that. He's the only player. Now I've done it two times. As an announcer, and you get to see all the players. I'm walking in to go see Doc Rivers in Boston, and KG's walking out. I said, listen, man, I just got to tell you, I introduced myself, blah, 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 a long time. I just want to say, man, as a fan of the game, I appreciate how you come to play every single night. I've watched you every single night. There's no doubt you're ready to play, and I just think that's a great example. And I just want to say thanks because it's fun to watch. And he kind of hung his head, and I'm embarrassed him. I appreciate it, man. Thanks a lot. And then I said it to Ginobili because I felt Ginobili was the same way. I thought Ginobili played his butt off. He hated him, but I think he always played hard.
Mm-hmm.
There's only two guys I've ever said that to.
Does Oklahoma City have the heart to hang in there with a punishing Nuggets team?
You never know with a young team. Young teams can go any direction. And
Did you see the body language after the game and during the pressers?
I guess not.
Reminded me a little bit of the Carolina Panthers in your Super Bowl. A little bit like, moment might be a little bit too much. I might be reading too much into it, maybe. But if you go back and look at just, look at the body language. Look how they sort of were receiving what was going on.
But young teams, they get the benefit of not really respecting their opponents, which can be in their favor.
Mm-hmm.
And they can, the drawback is they can't fold. So I don't know what the makeup of that team is. I feel like they think they're in a window. And when you think you're in a window, I'd be surprised if they were the type that's just going to fold.
Well,
listen,
if they don't look at this as a must-win game tonight, they got a problem.
If you're in a house that's on fire and the window's open and you burn to death,
huh?
Isn't your fault for not climbing out the window?
It depends.
Well,
what
how
story,
high? Are
yeah.
you?
Does it matter if the house is on fire?
Well,
You're on the 10th floor.
You've seen a lot of 10th floor houses.
Not in
You're
my
on the second
neighborhood.
floor of a house and the whole bottom floor is on fire. You jumping out?
We'll give
we're
you
going to survive that.
We'll give you
Yeah.
15 to 20 feet, sure.
Yeah, we're going to go. The point being, there's windows open. Are you willing to do what it takes to go through that window?
What does that mean, though? What do you mean?
That
do
means
what it
getting
takes?
beaten game one and come back and pulling up your big boy drawers and going, okay, no more here.
How
That's it.
does a team? How would they get more physical with Jokic though? Like, what would they do?
I don't know if they can. They're a team that gets up in passing lanes, creates havoc by always dropping. They'll continue to drop. Again, I sit there now. It's hindsight. I'm not sure what they faced in that first series wasn't great for them here. Like they still had too many turnovers, but they cut them way down in the second half when you're trying to make a comeback, especially points off turnovers. Remember, that's the most important.
Mm-hmm.
Points off turnovers. Because those are free points, basically.
Correct.
It's been able to get beaten game one, feel like you give the game away, and so that ain't going to happen again. And it becomes a real mindset. Why I think it's important that if they come out with that mindset, you come out with the same mindset. We're taking two. We ain't happy with one. We're taking two. And then even if they win, they're going, geez, these dudes play their butts off. And I'm sore. And then all of a sudden you got them. But you don't ever just give a game tonight. You just can't give the game tonight.
What do you think? Give me a little prediction.
I think this team has turned a corner. Kreckman said it yesterday, and I agree with him. They're playing better now than they were at any time before or after the All-Star break.
So the way we're talking here, I do feel like we forget Oklahoma City was in control of that basketball game the entire game. They were in control.
Well, the second, third, and fourth quarter, yeah.
Okay, fine. They were in control the entire game to the point that you're sitting there going to bed. Scott went to bed.
I went to bed.
Right? And
I got my daughter, and I'm home. I get to spend time with my kid.
You went to bed.
And so I laid down and went to sleep with my daughter.
Okay, yeah, you went to bed because you thought the Nuggets lost the game.
Well, no, because I realized when you sit and watch
because you thought the Nuggets lost the game.
No, because when you watch a stupid TV and I get too passionate. I'm jumping, and I hate that.
How are we just dismissing this team all of a sudden?
I'm not.
I'm not dismissing them.
Oh, it sure feels like it.
I'm saying if it's a hypothetical. Listen, the other hypothetical is they run you out of the gym and they beat you by 30, which could easily happen too.
Yeah.
I mean, they have a whole season of not having close games.